Well, hello everybody out there in internet land. This is Chris from HHNlegacy.com with another exciting episode of Topher's Log. If you follow my social media, you know that I did not do a Topher's Log yesterday. I posted that I was going to hold off for a couple days, and now we know why. I was expecting an announcement. I was expecting a couple announcements this week actually, but I was actually expecting this to come tomorrow and not on Monday, but nevertheless they gave us a Monday surprise and announced Yeti, Terror of the Yukon. Of course, a whole Yeti house has been rumored around the community for a long time. This was one of the original houses that I had heard about for a long time. I think the whole Appalachian thing, I don't know where that came from, but nevertheless, we have our Yeti up there in the way Pacific Northwest, up there in Alaska and the Canada area. Our story follows a bunch of loggers up there, seeking refuge from a storm, a huge blizzard, and they go to sort of a ravaged camp that is in the territory of the Yeti, where the Yetis have already, of course, done their thing with carnage. People have died by hand of the Yeti. Of course, last year we had Attack of the Swamp Yeti. This is not like Attack of the Swamp Yeti. That was more of a sort of tongue-in-cheek style B-movie throwback, drive-in cinema type thing. This is more of a, more of a blood and gore fest. I know we're returning to the 80s this year, and like I alluded to before, the 80s connection is a little bit looser than what it was last year. But you can look at the description that they put on the blog, where when they first start off, it says, from the evil geniuses that brought you Attack of the Swamp Yeti. Kind of sounds like a whole movie vibe, and this could sort of fit that, where as opposed to Attack of the Swamp Yeti being more of a sort of tongue-in-cheek style B film, this is more of a sort of low-budget gore fest that can come out of the 80s. So you can go there if you want to. It's a very loose connection. Nevertheless, it is what it is. I think the whole vibe of this, the really gory aspect to it, the sort of trapped in the snow. I know a lot of people now with that are expecting it to be very cold. I don't know how cold it's going to be, because if I was a betting man, this is going to go in a soundstage, probably a soundstage that's sharing another house in it as well. So I don't know how cold they can get it in there. If I remember correctly, Body Collector's Recollections from 2015. It was cold in there, but it wasn't like freezing cold, because they were sharing another house in there. So I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't expect it to be that cold, but I think the vibe will be there. Of course, Recollections also took place during a blizzard, so that's quite interesting as well. We'll probably get some of the same aesthetics in here that we had with Recollections, with some of this snow. Yeah, really looking forward to this. Really want to see how they pull off some of the gore that they talked about, the bodies all over the floor, stuff like that. Lots of lumberjacks in here, I would assume, because they're loggers. It is what it is. But yeah, looking forward to it. My only gripe would be the whole use of the Yeti term. Like I mentioned in the Topher's Log, where I talked about a potential return of the Yeti to Halloween Horror Nights. The whole Yeti connotation sort of, in my mind, really fits more for over in the Nepal area. That's kind of where the Yetis are spotted. Sasquatch and Bigfoot are kind of the Pacific Northwest monsters, so it's kind of interesting for me that they're still sticking with the Yeti thing. But that could also fit with the whole sort of not schlocky in this case, but the whole sort of a low-budget B-movie gore fest that this could be. Using Yeti in that terminology sort of fits that bill, so that's kind of how I'm justifying the use of Yeti here, but it is what it is. But I'm still looking forward to the house nevertheless. In fact, let's update the hype list, shall we? We actually have a house to update the hype list. Number 1 is still Universal Classic Monsters. Number 2 at this point is still Depths of Fear. I'm putting Yeti, Terror of the Yukon at number 3, so that's going to replace Nightingale's Blood Pit, which goes to number 4. And Stranger Things continues to fall on the hype list to number 5. Like I said, we're looking forward to seeing what they do with the Yeti here. Right now, Yeti and Depths of Fear are sort of fighting for the spots that they're in. There are other things that are coming maybe sooner rather than later that may or may not take Depths of Fear's spot on the hype list, but we will see how that goes. It is what it is. And that is it. We have our 5th house announced for the year. Still no scare zones announced, but I expect those to be announced shortly. Now that we're at that juncture where they got to start announcing houses if they want to keep up with some kind of schedule here, leading into August. We're at the end of June, so I would not be surprised if we ramp up the announcement schedule here, with in some cases maybe multiple announcements a week. I can see that happening to sort of have that catch up for announcements. But nevertheless, that is it for me, guys, today. So we have Yeti, Terror of the Yukon. I like the artwork for this too. The artwork is really neat. Still no video for any of the original houses. This continues that trend. I don't think we're going to get an original house that's going to buck that trend. I think the videos this year are going to be solely for the IP houses. So, but the artwork, I do like the artwork that they have. The Yeti looks nice and menacing. Looks cool. So, but that is it for me, guys, for this week. Or maybe not. We will see. But until then, guys, I will talk to you later.